In this video, I'm going to show you how to make a galactic grocery list in Python. This list will contain cosmic dairy, galactic produce, and mystery meat. So, make a new Python file and name it whatever you want to. Then realize we're going to assign a variable grocery list to a string containing those items. Remember that a string won't allow you to use a specific part of it within other segments of your program if you just use the variable in its current state. So we can fix that using two brackets, commas, and more quote symbols to make our string an index of strings to ensure the print function only shows the important parts of our alien grocery list to the advanced alien shopping carts we have at our disposal that will grab the type of item we conveniently need on our list for us when we call it. We can only assign one type of item for advanced shopping carts to get from the alien marketplace given the parameters I set for this video. So we'll use the grocery list we've established to assign dairy products to one, produce to another, and meat to the last. We'll use variables to name our shopping carts. The first one will be Jeff, the second one will be Billy, and the last will be Charlie. Jeff will get dairy, Bill will get produce, and Charlie will get meat. Since our grocery list already has all those items cataloged, we can set each variable name equal to part of our grocery list with the string's respective index numbers inside brackets beside the grocery list variable starting from 0 to the rest of the base 10 numbering system. It might sound confusing at first, but we do start counting from 0, so that's why the first item in the list is labeled 0 instead of 1. Therefore, we will use brackets at the end of the variable name we set the first of our shopping carts and type 0 to call the first item in the index, counting upward from there when we assign the other variables to the indexes after 0. Now we can check to make sure Bill, Jeff, and Charlie are in the list class using the type function and the print function around the grocery list variable. When we save and run our code, one line should print out and say class lists. We can also check to make sure Bill, Jeff, and Charlie are strings using the same process. Currently, indexes in Python are not limited to positive whole numbers, so we can count backwards from -1 in them because -0 isn't a real number. So Jeff's index would change to -3 and so on with other variables to print the same results they had from the positive index numbers or from -1 to reverse the order. You can print Jeff, Bill, and Charlie with commas separating them in the print function to check that they're the correct values. Jeff should be cosmic dairy, Bill should be galactic produce, and Charlie should be mystery meat if you counted backwards from -3. Now let's say you wanted to print out Jeff's item type, how much of it the cart grabbed, and the total cost the dairy was at the cash register. It got cheese, milk, and space ice cream. So 3 items. There were 3 different costs for these items, and we can concatenate them in a variable called dairy cost. We'll need to make sure the cost variable is above our print function, put Jeff, the amount of items Jeff got, and the dairy cost variable in a print function separated by commas to print them out, and it just works. Unlike concatenation, separating values with commas in a print function does not require parallel structure. We could also add a duplicate value to our list with methods. It doesn't have to be a method though, and you could just add another string in the list that's the same as cosmic dairy, but that's no fun. It's an option though. You'll need to add a period right after the variable, then type append to augment a duplicate string to the list called cosmic dairy. Now you can print out the full list to check if the string was added to it, and at the end of the list you should see cosmic dairy appear in the terminal. It doesn't have to be a duplicate or a string though, because lists can have any value from floats, integers, booleans, and strings inside them regardless of parallel structure and concatenation, since a comma separates the items from each other. This method only allows you to add one item to a list at a time. However, you can fix that with another method called extend. This method is used almost the same way as append, except you're literally just adding another list to the list. So let's add a list with alien electronics and galactic Lego sets to the list, then print out the result and see those items at the end of the list. We could do it another way too. Make that extend method a comment, type the grocery list variable, and set it equal to grocery list plus a list with those same items in it. Then print it out and see that you got the same result as when you used the extend method. I know it sounds confusing, but trust me, it'll work because you're just setting the grocery list variable to itself and concatenating another list to it. Now there's another way you can add stuff inside lists too. Let's say you wanted to add water bottles to the 3rd position in the list and only that specific position, nowhere else. Remember that the base 10 human numbering system starts from 0 up. Use the grocery list variable again, but this time use the insert method. This method takes 2 arguments separated by commas. 1, the position where you want to put the value you enter, and 2, the value you want to put in the list. In this case, we'll use the value 2 as the first argument because counting from 0 to 2, that's 3 whole numbers, and we'll use a string thing called water as our second argument. Save it, run it, and we should get this list with water at the third position in it. But now your uncle or guardian is calling you and says your little cousin is acting up, so we gotta remove the Lego sets from our grocery list with another method, the clear method. Print the variable out yet again and explosion. What happened? This method gets rid of everything in our list and just discombobulates the program unless we actually want to get rid of everything in our list, so maybe we shouldn't use it right now and instead use the remove method. This method allows us to remove one item from the list at a time, whether through specifying its actual value, in this case a string, or through just using the grocery list index to get rid of the item from it. We can print out the list after each way we used it to see that the Lego sets aren't there anymore. Now let's say we wanted to also get rid of the water but give it to our alien friends. We can set a variable, friend container, to the grocery list variable and then the pop method to get rid of the water. And since it's the third position of the list, we'll use the number 2 to get rid of it, then print out the friend container variable to give it to our alien friends, and print out the full list again to show that the water has been taken out of the list. Now let's say you wanted to actually change a value in the grocery list because you realized getting electronics wasn't as essential as you thought it was, but getting a journal to take notes for the upcoming alien rocket science exam was vital to your success. So we can set the index of the very last item in our list to the string journal. I'm going to do that with a negative index just to demonstrate it's possible. Then print the list again to show that the value actually changed from alien electronics to journal. There's even a way to change the index value of multiple items in a list with just one line of code using a range of indexes. For example, if we wanted to change the index values of mystery meat and cosmic dairy to 2 and 5, we can use a negative or positive index range on the grocery list variable to add 2 more strings within it. Print the list again and see that our additions to the list now show up, and print the new index values of cosmic dairy and mystery meat to check that they're in fact where they belong. You can also basically delete what we implemented using another range index with arguments of indexes right before the ones you intend to delete, leaving the index set equal to an empty list. And when you put the list inside yet another print function and run your code, the range index is in between the one we set equal to an empty list will be gone. Now our adopted 720-year-old alien niece we're babysitting that happens to conveniently be right beside us watching our every move on this program doesn't know the human alphabet very well yet because we have only just made contact with them recently from our non-lethal laser beam projections to Earth. So we can use another method on our grocery list variable to help them better understand the human alphabet called sort. This method will sort our list alphanumerically from the letter it believes is closest to the first in the alphabet, from the first letter in strings to the letters the program believes are closest to the last in the alphabet within strings. You can also reverse the alphanumerical order a list gets sorted by setting the reverse keyword inside of the sort method equal to true to confuse our niece once more. This method works almost the same way with human numbers, except it sorts the list numerically instead of alphanumerically because, well, it's just numbers. For example, if we wanted to sort the prices of all the items in the list up to this point, we could just multiply the original price of the dairy products by 2 because we have 2 strings saying cosmic dairy, and then add the prices of the produce, journal, and mystery meat respectively separated by commas, and just to make it look nicer, convert it to integers. When we print this list out, it should be sorted from the lowest number to the highest, and if we use the reverse keyword and set it equal to true, the opposite would be correct. The sort method is case sensitive, so don't try sorting uppercase values with lowercase values expecting the correct alphanumerical values to appear at the front of the list. What I mean is that the sort method will sort by uppercase values first, whether or not a lowercase string is at the front of the alphabet or starts with a letter anywhere before the uppercase quote in the alphabet. So this is a case where parallel structure in a list actually does matter when you use a method unless you set the method's keyword equal to reverse and the reverse keyword inside of that method equal to the boolean true. However, there is a way to reverse the order of a list regardless of whether your characters are in alphanumerical order or upper and lowercase though. It's called the reverse method. For example, if we wanted to make another list that contains our alien niece's name, their favorite color, and their alien address, 2.4E1, use the reverse method on the list to prove that alphanumerical characters do not have to have all parallel structure when using them. Print out the list, realize that I forgot to explain why 2.4E1 prints out as 10 times the float in front of E1, and let me explain why. In regular math, the E literally stands for exponential, exponential and is commonly referred to as the natural exponential number because it's so applicable to real life situations in science and physics, as you can see in this video, since computer science is like a subsection of physics applicable to everyday life whether you know it or not when you're using electronics that have any form of application or way to access websites on them. Dear viewer, do you wish to have a video edited like this one? Well, fear not, because I have the solution for you. Just go to the link on screen or click the link in the description to get your pause on the first 5 slots that are open for 100% free, provided that you allow me to use your video as proof of my editing skills in my back catalog. After the first 5 slots are taken, everything will go up in price. I won't say what exactly the price will be yet because I need to decide based on this, but I will say it'll probably be above minimum wage per video, so keep that in mind. Click this video on screen if you enjoyed this content, would like to see more, and would consider ethically hacking the subscribe button. That's it for now. Bye.